Hello, I'm Johnny. Today's topic is part 2 of the exciting NBA updates, the Heat's miraculous 8th seed run, the Warriors on the verge of advancing, and the Clippers' star duo in question.
No best.
First, I need to mention that I'll be going to Taipei tomorrow for some errands. Also, I've seen the doctor twice this week because of a sore throat, so I'll likely take a break this weekend. However, if I have time and my throat feels better, I'll try to do a live stream chat. I wanted to inform you all about this. My nasal voice is quite noticeable, so much so that my assistant says it's quite sexy. If you think this voice is sexy, remember to like our video. Alright, joking aside, we must work hard even when we're not feeling well and still produce content. Moving on to the news, the Clippers' Kawhi Leonard currently has a torn meniscus. Interestingly, the team announced this only after being eliminated from the playoffs. In fact, when he missed Game 3, we already said he didn't need to return this season. Now, the question is whether his injury will affect the start of next season. According to reporters' information, the Clippers are considering how to address Kawhi's injury while still leaning towards maintaining their star duo. This is in line with my thoughts, mainly because it's challenging to trade Paul George, PG, and Kawhi, given their injury history. Additionally, the primary rotation players, except for Russell Westbrook and Mason Plumlee, are still under contract. More importantly, the Clippers' team salary for next season is around $200 million. According to the new CBA rules, they don't have mid-level exceptions for reinforcements. We'll discuss this in more detail another day. So, the safest approach is to compete next season and wait for contracts of players like Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, and Eric Gordon to expire before deciding whether to rebuild or not. On the other hand, during the offseason, teams can make minor adjustments. However, as long as the core of the team remains PG, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, their primary issue will still be health. In my opinion, it might be easier for the organization to make moves either mid-season or during the next off-season. Before we move on to the next topic, please remember to like our video. Your support is our biggest motivation to create content. Thank you. Now, let's talk about the games. Today, the Knicks defeated the Cavaliers on the road with a score of 106-95. The Knicks not only advanced but also became the first team in the league to pull off an upset. In fact, after leading by 10 points at halftime, the Knicks maintained their lead throughout the second half. In simpler terms, the Cavaliers were dominated throughout the game and ultimately started their summer vacation early. After this series, I believe the Cavaliers need to adjust their playing style. They rely too heavily on their backcourt duo, and if one of them struggles, their offense could easily stall. Today, Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland combined for 49 points but had 9 turnovers. The rest of the team, including the frontcourt players, had to play passively to accommodate the duo. For example, Evan Mobley, who averaged 16 points in the regular season, only had 6 shot attempts today and 8 in the previous game. This is solid proof. Moreover, the Knicks have many backcourt players, including Josh Hart, R.J. Barrett, and even Emmanuel Quickley off the bench, who can effectively limit the Cavaliers' duo. It's worth noting that in this series, the Cavaliers scored below 100 points in 4 games. So, in my opinion, the coaching staff and management should think about how to make the team's power more balanced during the offseason. As for the Knicks, not only did they advance to the second round, but they also received good news as the Milwaukee Bucks were eliminated by the Miami Heat. We can't say for sure that the Heat are weaker than the Bucks, but it's a fact that the Heat have injured players. From the Knicks' perspective, they may prefer to face an injury-plagued Heat team. In fact, after acquiring Jalen Brunson this season, the Knicks have already achieved great success by reaching the second round at this stage. Congratulations to the Knicks and their fans. Next, let's talk about the Lakers. Today, they lost 99-116 on the road. Although the score difference seems a bit large, the Lakers were only 1 point behind at 74-75 in the middle of the third quarter. However, they were then hit with a 19-2 run by the Grizzlies, including 3-pointers from JJJ, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane. As a result, the Grizzlies led by 18 points at 94-76 by the end of the third quarter. The Lakers didn't give up in the fourth quarter, but they still lost by 17 points in the end. The Grizzlies' backcourt duo, Ja Morant and Desmond Bane, both had 30-plus point performances, which was key to their victory. Desmond Bane, in particular, is a player to watch. He scored 36 points in the previous game and 33 points today, so the Lakers should be cautious of his explosive scoring ability. Congratulations to the Grizzlies fans, as their team lives to fight another day. As for the Lakers, AD, Anthony Davis, bounced back from a poor performance in the previous game, scoring 31 points and grabbing 19 rebounds. Austin Reeves, also contributed 17 points, and D'Angelo Russell, put up a double-double. Overall, the Lakers' starting lineup performed quite well, with the exception of LBJ, LeBron James, who only made one of his 9 three-point attempts and committed 5 turnovers. It's worth noting that LBJ's three-point shooting percentage in this series is only 16%, which is why many fans want him to take fewer shots from beyond the arc. After the game, AD said in an interview that LBJ is the best scorer in history and believes he will adjust. My opinion is similar to AD's. In simple terms, LBJ should still take shots when needed, or else the floor spacing will be limited, and the offense will become monotonous. However, when he's not performing well, he should change his scoring method to avoid offensive inefficiency. A 16% three-point shooting percentage is not normal for him, so how he adjusts during this cold streak is something he needs to work on. And he must make adjustments because the series will return to the Lakers' home court for Game 6. The Lakers must end the series at home, as going back to the Grizzlies' home court would complicate the situation. Moving on to the Miami Heat, as mentioned earlier, they eliminated the championship favorite Milwaukee Bucks. Not only did the Heat pull off a major upset, but they also became the 6th so-called 8th seed miracle in NBA history. To be honest, it was no easy feat, especially given that the Heat's 20-point-per-game scorer Tyler Herro was injured, as well as former All-Star guard Victor Oladipo. Yet, this team managed to eliminate the Bucks, who had the best regular season record, with a 4-1 series victory. I would like to ask fans to give the Heat more applause, even though I personally predicted the Bucks would win this series. The Heat's performance was simply astonishing. A special mention goes to Jimmy Butler, also known as Sergeant or Buckets. Not only did he score 56 points in the previous game and single-handedly defeat the Bucks, but he also had an epic performance today. With 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter, the Heat were down by 2 points. Butler caught the inbounds pass after a screen and, while off balance, made an incredible shot to tie the game. Honestly, I'd like to know how he made that shot. This miraculous play sent the game to overtime. In the last 40 seconds of overtime, the Heat were leading by 2 points when Giannis Antetokounmpo fouled Max Strus beyond the three-point line. Although Strus only made 2 free throws, it helped the Heat extend their lead to 4 points, a 2-possession game. This foul was a costly mistake. The Heat's defense was successful in their final defensive possession, as Butler blocked Giannis' first shot attempt. The ball went to Chris Middleton, who drove left but encountered help defense. He passed to Grayson Allen, who, with only 2 seconds left and defenders on his right, decided to drive in. Time ran out before he could get a shot off. In reality, he should have pulled up for a jump shot after beating his defender, but regardless, the Bucks lost the game. Congratulations to the Heat for their 8th seed miracle. Fans should know that after 3 quarters, the Bucks were leading 102-86, but in the fourth quarter, they allowed the Heat to score 32 points. More importantly, in this 5-game series, the lowest points allowed by the top-seeded Bucks was 119 in Game 4, and that was against an injured Heat team. So, the Bucks can only blame themselves for the loss. As for whether the Bucks head coach should be held responsible, the answer is yes. Although last season's loss was mainly due to Chris Middleton's injury, and this season it was Giannis' injury, the fact remains that the defensive intensity in this series was unacceptable. To put it bluntly, even without Giannis, the Bucks' overall strength should not have resulted in a 4-1 series loss to the Heat. Thus, the future of coach Mike Budenholzer will likely spark significant debate. Let's translate the NBA article into English and pay attention to basketball terminology and player names. Please simplify the player names, for example, translate James Harden to Harden. After the game, Antetokounmpo told the media that this was the worst postseason of his career. It's understandable, as he only made 10 out of 23 free throws and committed 7 turnovers, which contributed to the Bucks' inability to extend the series. As for the victorious Heat, the hero of the game was undoubtedly Butler. He scored 42 points in this game, totaling 98 points in the last 2 games. But I'd also like to ask fans to give some applause to the other Heat players, such as Duncan Robinson, who scored 20 points in Game 3, Gabe Vincent, who scored 22 points in today's game, Bam Adebayo, who had a triple-double, and Love, who made 5 three-pointers. They were all key to the Heat's underdog story. Now let's look forward to the traditional 90s rivalry between the Knicks and the Heat to see which team will be the winner in the second round. Speaking of underdogs, the Warriors also pulled off an upset today, winning 123-116 against the Kings on the road. The 6th-seeded Warriors in the Western Conference are now in a great position. Although Stephen Curry scored a team-high 31 points, the contributions of other players should not be overlooked. If Klay Thompson hadn't contributed 11 points in the second quarter, including 3 three-pointers, the Warriors' lead going into the second half would have been in question. In the final moments of the fourth quarter, when the Warriors were only leading by 3 points, Thompson scored a crucial 2-pointer. he finished with 25 points, including 5 three-pointers. Kevin Looney had another impressive performance, grabbing 22 rebounds, including 7 offensive boards, and dishing out 7 assists. Draymond Green had an all-around performance with 21 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals, even making a fadeaway jumper that, although uncoordinated, was still a good shot. His role coming off the bench not only allowed Jordan Poole to return to the starting lineup but also created more opportunities for Looney to work with his teammates. Looney's assist numbers in the last 3 games prove this point. As for the Kings, it's a shame that they couldn't take the lead in the fourth quarter and eventually lost this crucial battle at home. The team's 2 stars, De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, committed a combined 11 turnovers, which was a major reason for the loss. However, this is a process that young players must go through. Many fans and analysts see the Warriors' experience as a key factor in their predicted victory in this series. In my opinion, the young Kings have performed very well. It's already a great accomplishment to compete with the Warriors until the final moments in 2 consecutive games. But an even bigger challenge lies ahead. Game 6 will be held on the Warriors' home court, and they'll have to be wary of G6 Clay. Let's see if the young Kings can handle the pressure.